Non-GMO. I'm sure you've seen this symbol many places. All nice looking naturey, makes it seem good for the environment. Crap. GMOs are good for the environment and good for your health. Monsanto's bad, but we'll get to that. Before anything though, let's get a little bit of history in. Human crop modification began with the advent of agriculture. We slowly selected traits we found favorable to make better crops, like wolves to dogs. This changed because of the Industrial Revolution, Green Revolution, and the Nuclear Age. New techniques emerged, one being blasting seeds with gamma radiation. That gave us the seedless watermelon. Genetic modification as we know it appeared in the mid-20th century. This happened when Stanley Cohen found an enzyme that took apart and put together DNA, and Herbert Boyer figured out that new DNA could get injected into an organism. The first use of genetic modification technology in agriculture was the Bt crop. This was a crop that took genetic material from a soil bacteria that was an insecticide and put it into the corn, so you didn't need to apply insecticide onto it. This was wildly successful, causing the technology to explode across all of agriculture. How much? Like a lot. Like a lot. This actually ended up being a 900% increase from 1997 to 2015, making it the most quickly adopted agricultural technology ever. Where did all this backlash come from then? In 1992, Paul Lewis called GM crops Frankenfood in a letter to the New York Times. Greenpeace then took this and ran with it, putting in so much of their material and kind of unethically spreading misinformation. If you want to know about Greenpeace, I've heard them called the PETA of conservation. Now, I think it's important to understand why people feel and think that GM crops are bad. So let's talk about the ethics and the kind of gut feeling they put into you. The big linchpin for a lot of people, I think, is how unnatural GMOs feel. Taking foreign DNA and splicing it into another organism, and it feels scary and complicated and like we're playing God. But really, look around us. All the garbage we make, filling up giant piles. You see in the city, we clear-cut acres of land for that. Even the computer you're watching this on, the projector, or even the room you're in, none of that's natural. So what really matters is the impact on what's left. There are still some ethical issues though. Like any technology, they have to be used right. It brings up the line from Jurassic Park where you have Ian Malcolm going, The thing is, we have thought about whether or not we should, and the answer is yes. There are some people who do use this technology for the generic capital badness. Enter Monsanto. Monsanto made Roundup and Roundup Ready, which Roundup Ready is a genetic modified crop to be resistant to Roundup, which is an herbicide. Seems like it's fine, however, they didn't let people know that it caused cancer. They also hid that information, so you know. The thing is, so many corporations are bad like that. I'm sure you can think of 1,000 atrocities done by that. Like all the Chinese workers who jump off roofs because their working conditions are so bad. You know, it's just a corporation is the problem. So just regulate the corporation and the problem with GMOs, gone. We should embrace GMOs because there is a lot of good that they can do. So, pesticides, pretty bad. Less pesticides, pretty good. GM crops produce less pesticides. In fact, GM crops actually have reduced pesticide and herbicide use by 618.7 million kilograms. They also reduce CO2 emissions. Farmers are spraying crops less, which means they aren't driving cars around. Just BT soy caused the equivalent of 11.65 million cars being removed off the road for a year. Those are only a couple of the environmental benefits, and the technology is only going to get better for that. GM crops are also really good for health. Other than that Monsanto stuff, it reduces farmer poisoning because they're spraying their crops less and being less exposed. It also reduces crop farmer suicide. BT cotton prevented a minimum of 75,000 farmer suicides. That's just one type of crop. They are also good for your health. Here is a very typical example of someone who eats GMO food versus someone who doesn't. Firstly, insect-resistant crops have less insects going in, which means there's less insect-caused carcinogenic toxins like mycotoxins. Secondly, there's more food produced because of a higher yield, which more food means less poverty. Being in poverty, not great for your health. GM crops also have been made to have better nutrition, so the crop itself is just healthier for you. You could get the all-natural whatever, or you could get the superfood that's been designed specifically to be healthy for you. I know what I am choosing. Marketing GMO-free as good for the environment, good for your health is bullcrap. GMOs are good for your health and good for the environment, and the only issues that they have can be solved with good regulation. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.